Okay, so welcome to session 7 of this meditation series where we've been exploring the company that we keep. And this, within the web page, I'm going to link loads of articles relating to the company that we keep. So if, in terms of people, if we are spending time with people who are in the process of getting divorced, who have depression, or who have are suffering from mental illness, the statistics show and the studies show that we are more likely to become to become depressed, to experience mental challenges. There are clusters around suicide, around eating disorders, depression. If people are going through divorce, we're 75% more likely to become divorced. So it's not that these things are necessarily like catching, like a virus, but if we are particularly empathetic people and we are putting ourselves in other people's shoes, this changes the trajectory in the way that we are thinking about our experiences. So the company that we keep, we need to be careful and we need to take care of ourselves. And the intention behind this meditation series has been to drop in to our direct experiences and to be taking care of ourselves. And then on the flip side of that, if we spend time with people who are happy, who are content, who like giving up smoke, if somebody gives up smoking, we're more likely to give up smoking. So again, the company that we keep, being careful and making sure that there's balance around the people. And then there's also, we've explored time, where we're spending our time, what we're doing with our time, whether activities are nourishing, depleting, neutral, being an impartial witness to ourselves. And again, it's about balance. It can't all be unpleasant, or it can't all be pleasant. There will be these neutral periods of our time that make up the bulk of our life. So and all, there's also the input, the music that we're listening to. I recently began listening to some music I listened to in my teens and early 20s, and some of the lyrics, it just made me realise, gosh, no wonder I behaved in the way that I did. It was like this, I was getting validation for some of my more negative behaviours from some of the music that I was listening to. The books that we're reading, the series that we're watching, you may notice that your dreams change around if you're watching a particular series, or they're very dramatic. There's it's like if we compared the series now to the 80s or the 90s even, it's this very dopamine inducing, dramatic, addictive programs that we want more and we want more and we want more of. Where we might have watched Inspector Morse once a week, we'll now watch 7 sessions in 7 episodes in one go. We consume a lot. Our tolerance and our sensation seeking is that we need more and more and more. It's not that we shouldn't be doing those things, it's just that we need to be taking care of ourselves and the impact that they have on our well-being, and what's going into here is then being communicated to our bodies. As a little anecdote, I worked in forensic psychiatry for 17 years with some of the most dangerous people, and of course there was always a reason behind people's stories. I never once met a serial killer, and there are so many series about serial killers and obsession with it. So humanity and what we're interested in, and just doesn't necessarily reflect reality in the way that most of our day is made up of neutral, mundane activities that go completely unrecognized. And that throughout the series and within the mindfulness meditations, you were encouraged to be grateful for those mundane, ordinary moments. And also something that I read that I'll include in the links is that reading for 6 minutes a day has a positive impact on our mental health. Obviously, choosing something that's nourishing, but the actual process of reading, it's slower, it's less stimulating, it's more soothing, it's less dramatic way of us receiving entertainment, I suppose. Anyway, so that's what we've been exploring, how we're spending our time, the places that we're spending our time, the people, and also the company that we keep with ourselves, the way that we talk to ourselves, and how we spend time with and use this body that we have to encourage us to take care. So with that in mind, we're going to move into a mindfulness of breath practice, and holding in mind the last 7 weeks of sessions that you've been engaging in and those activities outside of the practices. So settling yourself into a posture that is comfortable for you. I need to find my bell. What's he doing? As always, you are welcome to do this practice lying down, listening to what your body's in the mood for today, and taking great care of yourself. Now settling into your body, and taking a moment to arrive in this space that houses who you are for this unspecified amount of time that we have on this planet. The generations of ancestors that came before us, creating you in this body. And then you've taken the time out of your busy life to be here. Your mind will no doubt be telling you all the other things that you could or should be doing. But in being here, anchoring in the present moment through our body and our breath, you're taking an active step in taking care of your own health and well-being. Nowhere to be but here. So an invitation to bring your awareness to the points of contact that you're making with the earth. Exploring textures, sensations, colours, shapes, movement. Your feet, your legs. Your back against the seat. fabric of your clothes against your skin. The air that touches your skin. And an invitation to check in with your posture. We have a natural tendency to slump. And an invitation to either visualize these movements or make them yourself. We're going to slowly bring our hands up to our face. Noticing how your body knows how to lift your muscles, or visualizing the process if this isn't within your range of movement. And then bringing your fingertips to your forehead. I invite you to smooth your brow. Whatever way feels comfortable for you. Using the pressure of your fingertips against your forehead. And then pinching your eyebrows. And a lot of tension and tightening in our face. And this communicates to our brain, to our amygdala, that there's something to be worried about. There's a possible danger. And when we make these small movements, we remind ourselves to let go of any tension and tightening. And then just massaging that point between the eyebrows at the top of the nose. This is a particular little spot that can hold a lot of tension. And then bringing your hands to your cheeks, massaging your cheeks, maybe pinching them. Noticing the sensations, sounds, textures. And then the nose, sliding, massaging around the nose. And then pinching the lips. And massaging the jaw. Again, clenching and tightening can happen here on automatic pilot. Don't realise that we're doing it. And then bringing your hands to the back of your neck. And just gently massaging. It's doing one shoulder at a time, moving down the neck. Releasing tension, trapped hormones, releasing oxytocin, soothing and nourishing, letting your body know that you're safe. And then moving to the other shoulder. And moving your hands to a resting position and just resting in the felt sensation of having made those movements. Tingling, warmth, shapes, colours. The prefrontal cortex has got involved and said, why don't I do this more often? Each time you notice your mind has wandered into the stories, dropping into your felt and direct experience. This widening and narrowing the lens of our attention is where the grey matter gets built up. Not that we grow any more grey matter, but we grow more neural pathways, allowing us to centre and anchor and return to the present moment more easily, supporting our cells during moments of stress, and simply taking this time to rest in stillness with ourselves. Now an invitation to narrow your awareness to your breath. Let's begin by focusing on the in-breath. You can count if that's helpful. 1 to 10. Your in-breath, perhaps following its movements, or maybe focusing on one point in particular. And now an invitation to turn your awareness to your out-breath. Again, counting if that's helpful. Now an invitation to bring your awareness to the full cycle of your breath. As you breathe in and you breathe out. This ordinary yet extraordinary breath that keeps us company throughout our lives. It's always there. mainly unnoticed, unless it causes us some difficulties. You have a cold. You have to run for a bus. Being with your experience just as it is. Non-judgmental, kindly, tender awareness. And focusing on the full flow of your breath as you breathe in and you breathe out. Letting go of counting. Allowing your experience to be as it is. Textures, colours, shapes, movements. Narrowing the lens of our attention to the sensations and experiences of our breath. Deliberately lowering the levels of stimulation. Being with our direct experiences as they are. Noticing if you want things to be different. Yes, you can, being with your experience as it is. And now an invitation to expand the awareness of your breath to include all of the body. What sensations, if any, can you notice as you breathe here in your body? Perhaps noticing how the mind labels experiences as pleasant or unpleasant or dull. And if there are sensations that are particularly distracting, a niggle that you want to itch, or a pain, or a pleasant sensation that's drawing all of your attention, knowing that you have a few tools at your disposal as to be with them. Number one, you can move, weaving the movement into the practice, making it a part of the meditation. It's not doing it wrong. You can't do these practices wrong or right, simply being with ourselves as we are. So if you need to move, noticing the movements, the muscles, how your body knows what to do. And then resting in the felt sensation of having made the movements. It may have brought you some relief. It may be disappointing. Resting in the stillness of having made those movements. That remains available to you throughout the practice. and within your days ahead. And then secondly, there's the option to observe and explore the sensations, shining a spotlight around them. You don't need to go right into the center. You can explore them from the edges. You can have a magnifying glass or a telescope, or sweep around, tentatively exploring where do the sensations finish. Can you be around the edges? Is there any tightening or bracing here? Can you let that go? Is the sensation hot or cold? Does it move? Does it have a electrical impulse type sensation? Is it like a wave? Is it like an object? Solid, firm, clear edges. Being interested and curious as to what your body is experiencing. And checking in with your body in this way is available to you. Throughout the practice and outside of the practice. And then thirdly, there's the option of directing your breath around or into the sensation. And then whenever you're ready, returning your experience to your breath within your body, knowing that you've got those three options available to you at any point. You have a choice as to how you respond. We can't necessarily change our experiences, but we can choose how we respond towards them. Breathing in and breathing out in your body in this moment. And then narrowing your awareness to your breath, following the flow of your breath as you breathe in and you breathe out. And we're going to bring this part of the practice to a close with a poem that you may be familiar with, called The Invitation by Oriah Mountain Dreamer. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the centre of your own sorrow, if you have been opened by life's betrayals, or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it, fix it, fade it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own. If you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes, without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you are telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself, if you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul, if you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the moon, yes. It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the centre of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. So moving and stretching in whatever way your body is asking of you. I'm going to move into sharing a cup of tea together. If you don't have your own tea, I have time. As we're at the end of the meditation series, I'm going to close here and leave you with the final little part of this poem. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself, and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. My hope is that you found this meditation series nourishing and an interesting exploration of the company that you keep, and the holistic approach of that. I've sort of woven in some occupational therapy tools in there. So if anything has come up for you and you'd like to explore, do reach out. Thank you for joining me.